So I just got back, well, sort of, kind of got back from the doctor. I had to stop off on the pharmacist on the way home. My son had to go to his allergist appointment today, which he has had one for maybe about 6 months. And they're like, "So what allergies does he have?" And I'm like, "I'm not too sure exactly why we're here," because I couldn't remember, because I've been living with them so long. And they're like, "Well, let's go through the chart." And they're like, "Oh, he's not eating," and I'm like, "Well, no, he constantly is throwing up and vomiting, but I'm used to that by now." And they're like, "Well, it says here his weight had dropped." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it had dropped to like 17 pounds, and he's 3. Now he's up to 42 because of the Respitol, which is not good either." So they're like, "Okay, well, we're gonna put him on a normal diet, and we're gonna say," I'm like, "No, you're not. I'm not. No, we're not having him throw up and to where he throws up to so bad his throat's raw and there's blood." And they're like, "Well, there's no blood in the stool there." I'm like, "Yes, there is." What do you mean there's no? Yes, there is. Um, so they put him on Zyrtec and Flonase for his other allergies, and they gave him an epi shot, because, or like an epi thing, because not a shot. They gave me a prescription for the kit because he's allergic to bees and insects, and he's allergic to tree nuts, and he's allergic to, I don't know what else. But they're saying he's allergic to milk and egg. I knew he had a lactose intolerance thing going on. I wasn't too sure about the egg, but the only thing he eats eggs in the morning with a bit of fruit, which the fruit tears him up, or so I thought it was the fruit tearing him up, because the acid. And they're like, "Well, we're gonna have to do something to reduce the acids in his stomach because the acids in the fruit and everything like that." And he's just everything is real acidity, and that's causing the bleeding and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Dear Lord." Um, So they're gonna do. He needs to see a gastro something or other, and gastrologist. I don't know, something to do with his stomach. He needs to see some specialist on that because they're saying that he's not producing something he's supposed to be to breaking down the acids in his food. So I've got to make an appointment with them for that. And then they're saying, "Well, he's only eating pasta and rice, right?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." When they're like, "Well, pasta's made out of egg and milk, right?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, it's dough, and then you add the egg," and then I'm like, "Oh fuck." And they're like, "Bread, and bread is made out of milk and egg," and I'm like, "Son of a bitch." So then I start crying in the doctor's office, or sort of crying, because as much as I'll allow myself to cry in public, and I'm like, "He doesn't eat anything." And little we have found out he's allergic to. So they want, I don't know. They're they're gonna do some blood work on him, and they're gonna see how bad his stomach allergies are and what he's actually allergic to. And they took some blood, and they're gonna do all this stuff. But so he's gonna have to have his tonsils and adenoids removed, and he's probably gonna have to have some stupid repair surgery that they were telling me about, that I've got like papers on his stomach, which I'm pissed. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't do anything bad when I was pregnant. I lost weight because I constantly was exercising, and I don't like to exercise. I'm fat, but I did, and I walked every day for my son. Every day I walked for my son, so he could have a good heart rate and stuff like that. Um, I didn't drink any caffeine at all. Like, I didn't drink soda, I didn't eat chocolate, and I'm allergic to chocolate anyway. But I mean, soda, I used to before all this whole mess. I would go through a case a day. Now I'm drinking diet soda with no um calories, but it still has caffeine. But anyways, but I mean, I stopped everything for my son. Everything. And I was healthy. And I didn't eat junk food, and I didn't eat snack foods, and I suffered 9 months to make sure my son was healthy, and I tried to breastfeed him, but apparently I didn't produce enough milk or something. And then we found out he had a lactose allergy, so we had to switch him over to lactose-free formula. But in between that, we switched him over to the soy formula, and then that's when he had the anaphylactic. He went to anaphylactic shock, so that's why. And then apparently he's allergic to all these other things, and they're like, why don't you have an epi thing? And I'm like, I have one for me. And they're like, well, why do you have one? And I'm like, well, for bees and all. They're like, you have known bee allergies, but you don't have one for your son. And I'm like, this is what y'all are here for. That's why we're going to y'all, so we can get all this shit. And they're like, oh, well, we're gonna have to do everything, aren't we? And I'm like, I didn't know, and I'm trying, and it's so hard, and I'm trying, and now I'm stressed and I'm upset because now he's gonna have to have this shot thing that he's supposed to carry around with him. And thank God, they're like, thank God you got to the hospital last time because he could die. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm trying. I'm doing everything on my own. So basically, he's allergic to everything. He has severe skin allergies. He has severe like nasal congestion and all this stuff. And they're like, his nose is almost swollen closed. And I'm like, I know this. That's why we're here, because he can't breathe. And they're like, well, does he stop breathing in his sleep? And I'm like, yes, he has sleep apnea. It's on the charts. Well, what breathing machine's he on? None, because we have to wait for y'all to. So, he has all these allergies on top of everything else, and they're like, oh, well, he has autism, and I'm like, yes, and they're like, oh, what medicines is he on? And then I told them, about him going into seizures because of the Ambien and, Abilify, sorry. Um, and they're like, oh, yeah, that happens, especially whenever, doesn't he have a case of, like, his father's epileptic? And I'm like, well, his biological father is, yes. Well, that would be the only father that counts, ma'am. And I'm like, yes, I know this, but I don't like to call that man his father, so blah, 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 blah. And, it's just stressing when all this stuff is going wrong with him, and my eyes are watering really bad because I have allergies, and I didn't take my allergy pill this morning because I ran out of the house to get him to the doctor because we had to be there at 8. That means we woke up at 5. I was going to wake up at 6. I woke up at 5. And then I barely made it because you have to park in the garage. And oh my god, parking was $10. I was like, are you... Next time, I'm going to drive to a parking ride and then take the bus down. Because there's no way I'm paying $10 for parking. Are you fucking nuts? I should have took parking ride anyway, even though it was gonna take parking ride takes like 2 hours to get to downtown. I don't care. I'm never ever. Good Lord, $10. Next time he has to go to the hospital because he has to go to Texas Children's a lot. I just call an ambulance. It's cheaper. um. $10 for parking it. And then, like, they're like, well, you're 5 minutes shy of $20. And I'm like, the fuck I am? I don't have $20. And then I needed money to get home, and then I had to buy diapers because he was running low because I thought I had another pack. And then apparently, I don't know where that went. So I had to go buy pull-ups, not diapers. And then just everything is going so with the allergist, and then this and that and the other. And then I come home with these diapers, and they're the ones that make him break out. And my mom's like, well, aren't those the ones that make him break out? And I'm like, yeah, but either he breaks out and I put the cream on him, because I have cream for his skin, which, it's not a severe allergy, but he just comes out with these little bumps, and I don't like them because it makes him irritated. And I'm like, either it's these for 2 days, because Wednesday I get money, or he pees all over the floor. Look, there he is. Hi, would you like to say hi? Oh, say we went to the doctor today. Tell him. You want to show him your Bobo? Yeah, he got a Bobo. They took blood. Oh, I gotta tell you the funniest, the funniest thing. Because they put lidocaine on his arms, like his pulse points, because they didn't know which one they were gonna do. So he's walking around like this, like a zombie. It's so funny. And then he goes, "Ooh, monster, monster!" And he started scaring the other little children, like chasing them. It was so hilarious. And now he's showing up for you. Yeah, but basically that's what happened today. More updates, but I ran out of time, and this is only 10 minutes. And if you can sit through 10 minutes of blah, 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 good for you. Thank you for giving me the hangers.